Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So I had a great question in the comments asking, how do I deal with negative comments, criticism, hate, whatever that looks like, right? So obviously, once you put yourself out on YouTube, on any social media, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, you get a lot of compliments, but on the flip side, you get a lot of hate, right? So I kind of view social media comments as kind of like a bipolar person. Half the times you get positive comments loving you, half the time you get negative comments, hate, criticism. They project things onto you. Like for me, that they'll say, "Oh, I came from money. Oh, it must be easy for me because I have a high income W-2. I came from privilege." Whatever that looks like, right? So when you put yourself out there online, people are emboldened and they will insult you, make fun of you, criticize you. Completely different person, right? Like people don't do this in person, they only do it online. But for me, how I kind of deal with all this hate and criticism is really, like, for me, I try to be even keel. Like if I get a positive comment, I'm not like extremely happy from that. Of course it makes me feel good if I gave value to someone's life, I help tweak someone's mindset, I help teach someone something, right? Like that's what I'm passionate about. But if I do get like a compliment, I'm kind of even keel. But also if I get a negative comment criticizing me, I'm also even keel. So you have to take the good or the bad. Like a lot of the people who get depressed or burnt out from social media is they take validation from the positive comments. But when you take validation from positive comments, you also have to take the burden of the negative comments that come with it. You can't just have one or the other, right? So if you feel really good and amazing from a positive comment, well, when you get a negative comment, you're gonna feel like shit and hit rock bottom, right? And it eats at you. So for me personally, I'm even keel regardless if it's a positive comment or a negative comment, because I know that social media is like comments, especially the comments, is like a bipolar person. Half love you, half hate you, right? Same with like management. I'm in management, right? Half the employees like you, half the employees hate you. Take the good, the bad. If you become like president, half the world hates you, half the world loves you. That's just the way it is, right? Once you built some success, once you've built up a net worth, once you put yourself out there, that's what happens, right? So I knew that going in, and I don't care for external validation, to be honest. Like a lot of the happiness is internal. That's why a lot of celebrities, rich people, they get depressed, right? You hear all the stories is they just need that external validation. But if they don't get it or they get it, it doesn't feel as good. It's all internal, right? Like that's why they said success is really internal. It's really your mindset. So for me, I don't really, regardless if it's a good comment, bad comment, I'm just like, if it's a comment that's constructive criticism, I'll consider it, right? Like I'm not opposed to that. Like by all means, I'm all ears. But if it's just purely like hate or whatever, then okay, you're just being malicious, or whoever is putting the comments being malicious, and maybe it's making them feel better, right? Like I don't know. Like to me, the state of mind you have to be in to literally watch a random video, watch a random Instagram post, and like to post a hateful comment, right? Like to that mental mind state, I have empathy towards those people because that feels very sad and dark and lonely and kind of a pathetic state to be in, right? So like I don't want to do hate with hate. Like I'm like I kind of feel a little bad for these people. Like you need to feel better about yourself by putting some random stranger down online, right? And if that's your source of joy and feeling better about yourself, that's not a good life overall, right? And then one thing I learned is that in life, people who criticize you, people who try to put others down, they're not usually doing better than the person putting them down. So for example, people who are trying to put me down online or criticizing me, whatever that looks like, they're probably not doing better than me financially, right? They're not doing better than me mentally. So knowing that, like it's usually, hurt people hurt others, right? So most people who are trying to hurt me or hurt you if you post online, they're hurt themselves, right? Or maybe their ego is hurt. Maybe they're like, wow, like I wasted all my time and didn't do anything, so I feel frustrated myself, so I'm gonna take it on you. It's easy to blame others than to blame yourself, right? You always see that thing where you point your finger at someone, it's your fault, but 3 fingers are pointing back at you. So it's just like the same concept, right? Like a lot of people don't take accountability, they don't take blame, they don't take ownership. they are a victim to everything, right? Like this is 70-80% of the world. Like, I hate to say it. So, it's easy to point the finger at like, oh, because of you and you own 52 units of real estate, I cannot own real estate. I'm unsuccessful because of you. I'm like, no, you could, take it that way or learn from someone like me to buy your real estate faster, right? So it's quite interesting. So for me, once again, I create these videos. Obviously I don't make that much money from YouTube. Like, I make $100 a month, which is like, what I make in an hour in my W-2 job, at least. So, it takes me time and energy to make these. I make these because I want to. I want to document my journey. I want to see where I'm at today. I want to help educate others. I want to be transparent. I want to show what it's like to build a real estate portfolio, to build a net worth while working full time. Like, so for me, it's just a way to share, and that in itself brings me enough fulfillment. Like, if one or two people can benefit from this, great. That's good enough for me, right? And if I can make money on top of this, great, but I don't need it. I make enough money through my job and through my real estate portfolio as is. So anything from this is a cherry on top. It's just more of an outlet to document my mindset, my journey. And, because I feel like a lot of the real estate content out there are created by people who don't own much real estate, right? They just talk about it, but they don't own real estate. I actually own real estate. I operate my own real estate portfolio. I'm not a syndicator. I have no partners. I work full time, and I bought these real estate myself, managed it myself, managed the renovation myself, analyzed it myself. So I just want to share it's possible that you can do it yourself, working W-2, and build a decent portfolio, right? Enough that maybe you can retire early. Maybe you can work part-time. That's really it, right? Like, I want to show it's possible, because I wish I had this like 10 years ago. Like, when I was, fresh out of pharmacy school, and I didn't. So, it comes at a cost, right? If I want to be able to help people, then I'm putting myself out there, and people are going to shit on me and hate on me. So, like I said, you take the good or the bad, and same with management. You take the good or the bad. You're not going to be. When I was a regular pharmacist, for example, everyone loved me. And then once you step into management, the people that loved you now hate you just because you stepped up into a different title. Same with like success. Once you're like them and you don't own any real estate, people love you. The moment you start to own, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 50 units, people start to hate you because, oh, look at you, rich guy, you're too good for us. You hear all these side comments, but remember, people who are criticizing you, giving these side comments, they're not doing better than you, right? They're not doing better than you. The people who are doing better than you, they're not going to criticize you. Like they'll give you constructive criticism, like, you should do this. The people doing better than you actually know what it's like to go through what you went through, so we're not going to criticize you, right? That's why content creators usually don't insult other content creators, because we know how hard it is to create content, put yourself out there, take criticism, get hate. People project onto you, right? So if you look at it, unless you're a channel trying to expose other people, like, content creators don't hate other content creators. So, it is what it is. So for me, it's just like, okay, the upside of social media, it's infinite, right? And obviously the downside is you're going to get a lot of hate comments, a lot of shit. Usually a lot of hate comments from like a younger audience, a younger crowd. So like if you go on TikTok, it's probably the most hate. Instagram's next, and YouTube's probably about the least, I would say, because I think it's an older demographic on YouTube versus like TikTok, which is younger people. So yeah, it doesn't feel good. Like, you're just sitting at home, lying in your bed, not feeling good about yourself, and you see some guy talking about real estate that rubs you the wrong way, you can put a hate comment, right? It's very common. So that's how I kind of deal with it, So kind of to summarize all of this, I went on a huge rant here, but I take the good comments with the bad comments. So I stay even keel. I don't get high, I don't get low from a good comment or a bad comment. Number 2 is, I know that these people putting hate comments, they're not coming from a great mental state, right? So have empathy towards these people. They are hurt people, hurt others. So they're hurting in a way that I don't know, because obviously I don't know them. And so have empathy towards those who put hate, right? And like I said, for those who need to put down others, to shit on others, to feel better about themselves, that's not a good mental state to be in either. So, once again, have empathy and, just brush it off. Don't take it personally, right? And don't attach your self-worth, your self-esteem from other people's opinions and their validations, right? So that's a downside of a lot of content creators, is they go into content creation because they want attention and they seek the validation. But if they get a hate comment, they take it so negatively, right? So for me, I don't take good or bad comments. I'm even keel about it. And lastly, you have to know like your why, right? Like for me, I'm creating content to educate. I'm not creating content to entertain. Hopefully you find it entertaining in a way, but like it's purely educational. And it's more of like, I wish I heard this when I was on my journey or like 10 years ago. So I feel like I'm just talking to myself, my 24-year-old self when I'm talking now at 34. So anyways, if you want to learn how to buy your first multifamily deal with some real estate, please let me know. Check out the mentorship program. Otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.